economically, a budget is just a projection.
Okay.
And once you project, you put certain commitment in it, which probably will help to bring a value added to the GDP. My opinion is not far from what Mr. President is trying to stress. You know, based on the highlight, on 18th of December, a budget and appropriation bill was submitted to National Assembly. So from that angle, from that 18th to 28th of February, it's making 72 days for both the executive to approve at the FEC and then for Mr. President to accent the bill. 72 is a good parameter of efficiency as far as budget discharge is concerned. However, it is titled Budget of Restoration. So you are restoring certain fundamentals to put economic to shape. Then how do you understand that there are certain parameters, or we can put it in a more broad sense, macroeconomic parameters that are required? Mr. President has highlighted at the beginning of his reform, it was cloudy, and there is level of uncertainties. So these two weights now shape these macroeconomic parameters and how they behave. But from the inception of the restructuring of the economy to February 28, Mr. President highlighted certain target. That is, he's targeting to build up prosperity. Building up prosperity, that's where your questions come in. Now, what is the content? What are the sectoral allocation? And what are the efficiencies expected in this budget? That is what would determine probably what each and individual in the economy can benefit and contribute, because they are synonymous to the GDP in broad sense. Because once an individual who has an income, that disposable income is very necessary to the health of the GDP. How? Now, in ensuring that particular healthy situation of individual income, you look at the general price stability. That general price stability has to do with the purchasing power of individual. And it has to do with the aggregate demand of that individual in an economy. So in broad sense, Mr. President is having a target where no Nigerian will sleep without food on his table. That is a big challenge. And in 2025, what we saw a budget that has an increase of above 35% against 2024 in the first instance, submitting 52 trillion. Then subsequently, now another discovery was made. And that discovery, I want to hit on that. If from the presentation of 52 trillion, 52.2 trillion, and then the executive will now deem it necessary to make an increment to have a budget of 54.97 trillion. That is a good intervention, but it has to be with utmost care, not to put the economy again into supplementary budget in 2025, because the adjustment that is required to be done probably with supplementary. Now, from the projection of the government, at early enough, we were able to make that intervention. So if that intervention is believed to be critical, then we have to believe that the sectoral allocation, security in the first instance, that is the first thing that will affect you and I. Mm-hmm. We need to be secured to be in this studio. Mm-hmm. Those who are providing what we eat, the farmers, need to be secured to be in their farmlands. And not only that, their mental health, which determines productivity, is also required. So in my own opinion, 54 trillion is...
That is where infrastructure also comes in.
Exactly. But you have to understand the multiplier responsibility of each and every increment in each sector of the economy. Security is a target, like we discussed some time back, that any time under production possibility frontier, you discover large sums of funds of a state is going into security. It means there is going to be more guns to secure than butter to eat. But however, when you now put into relations the 2024 budget against 2025, we are expecting Nigerians to be more productive, because by stabilizing the inflation, particularly with the rebasing of the CPI and other critical reforms, we are expecting consumers to be stable. That relatively. Second, we are expecting government also to put more efficiency for the distribution to have a positive effect.
All right, many thanks, Yushua.